He is one of the highest level saints, friend of Allah, that has ever been created. He is an ummi, doesn't know how to read or write. He did not achieve his station of purity and high stations through learning. It is because of his heart. Isn't that what tasawwuf is? Tazkiyah, to clean your heart. Now it's become about accumulating nonsense ilm. Wrong. Hazrat Yunus Emre. He was belonging to Tariqat, Bektashi order. And Bektashi order, every order has its own specialties. Every order has its own work. Certain kind of spirit pulls people to that particular order for the work in Islam. The Bektashi order was concentrating mainly on the military. They follow that order. The Mevlevi order, following the Mevlevi order, Maulana Rumi, those ones who are inclined towards the arts, calligraphy and music, poetry. The Naqshbandi order, it was for the rulers, the sultans, the khalifas and the pashas, because it is about ruling. If you can rule your ego, you can rule the whole world. Same. So different, not the same, they are different. Maulana Rumi, Qaddasallahu sir, the whole world loves him, especially the West. And the West loving him, but not loving his master. Who is his master? The Holy Prophet ﷺ. That so many people, especially in the West, they love Maulana Rumi so much that they say Rumi has nothing to do with the Shariat. Nothing to do with that. It's about hakikat. It's about ma'rifat. It is not. Everything has a completion. So, Maulana Rumi already said that in one of his poems. Anyone who says that, he says, I am dust in the way of Mustafa. I'm a servant of the Quran. And he says, anyone who says that I am not, he cursed those ones. And he says, I'm very far away from them, and they are very far away from me. And Maulana Rumi, that he was a huge scholar. He was an alim. He came from a family of alims. We're talking about qadis and muftis. And to give you an example of what it means now, a qadi and an imam or a mufti, during that time, during the time of the Khilafat, I saw one time a job posting for an imam of one of the official masjids in the Ottoman Empire. Say the Blue Mosque or Hagia Sophia. The job requirement, this imam must know at least 7 languages. The imam must finish the madrasa and all of that. It's, of course you have to do that. Not only that, he has to know history as science. He knows languages of not just Arabic language, but the languages that the empire is using, Greek and Latin, the Slavic languages, European languages. He has to be good looking. He has to have at least 2 wives. You don't like this? Yeah. Who cares? Allah cares, not us. There's a reason for everything here. But we have been programmed so much that we become like what? Pavlov's dog? Pavlov's dog. Little hit and then we just kick. No. No, there's a reason for that. This is just to explain that the caliber of the imams and the alims of that time, we cannot even come close to them. Not just religious language, religious knowledge, but the knowledge of the dunya. They must know arithmetic, they must know logic, they must know philosophy, they must know history. So everything now is a very tight package. So when that imam stands up, he represents Islam. So that when he stands up to the priests and to the rabbis, he doesn't go down like this. You understand? So many they are like that. They wear, I know some, they wear nice turban and jubba amongst Muslims, but when they go to Harvard University, they wear suit and tie. If you are an imam or a sheikh, if you do that according to the shariat of an imam or a sheikh, that is tantamount to losing your faith. Because now your clothes represent your faith. I don't like that Hollister, what Mollister, that one. You understand? Coming to zikr is different. You wear traditional clothes. What are you going to lose? Nothing. What are you going to gain? So much blessings. But when it comes to that, they teach us, no, it's not important. Nothing is important. You know, turban is not important. It's just a piece of cloth. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. 124,000 prophets, they wear turbans. The angels, they wear turbans. And you're saying it is not important. Okay, it's different. If a person is, I cannot carry it, I'm weak, that's different. I cannot use it so much, that's okay. But to find reasons to say that the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, it is not important, you got to check it. So Hazrat Rumi, when he met his Shaykh, Shamsi Tabriz, was Shamsi Tabriz a scholar? He was not a scholar. In fact, he was Mazub. Mazub, you know Mazub? A little bit off. That when people say, it's just a bum on the street. Why are you following him? They're saying that to Hazrat Rumi. Why are you following him? You lost your mind too? You're changing the jubba of your qadi and you're putting on the torn patchwork cloak and following this kind of crazy man that we don't even know if he's real or not, if he even knows basic Islamic knowledge or not. So many high-level saints, if you look at their basic Islamic knowledge, the way that we understand, they don't know too much. Habib al-Ajami, he mispronounces Surat al-Fatiha. And when Hassan al-Basri, another sultan-sized saint and a scholar, understood that he recited it wrongly and went and make a qaza by himself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his Lord, was not happy with him. And it says, because you judge my beloved one, I will now judge you. Whatever that you're doing, I'm going to judge you. But according to Shariat, if the Imam recites Fatiha wrongly, it's gone, isn't it? Which Shariat we're talking about now? Which Shariat? So, Hazrat Rumi, he left everything. He left everything. Everything. Which today, people who want to follow sheikhs, they cannot even leave their wives for 5 minutes. And they want to follow a sheikh and they want to have the highest stations. Hazrat Rumi, he left everything. But because of the jealousy now, even his own sons are involved. They captured Shamsi Tabriz and they killed him. And Hazrat Rumi, one time, he was walking and a man says, Ya Maulana, I heard that Shamsi Tabriz is alive. Maulana saying, you heard he's alive? He says, yes. Take my khirka. He took his khirka sharif, his jubba, and he puts it on the man. The man is so happy, he's very happy. The man went, his murid went to him and says, Maulana, you know that man is lying. He didn't meet Shamsi Tabriz. Maulana Rumi saying, he says that he is alive. We gave him our cloak. If he has met Shamsi Tabriz, we would give him our life. Submission to the Shaykh. Submission to the Shaykh. Coming now to Yunus Emre. Because Maulana Rumi, everybody knows him, the world knows him, but Maulana Rumi is saying openly, every station that I reach, I see the footprints of Yunus Emre. If I go to another station, he has already reached me and is far beyond and above me. Hey, Yunus Emre, Qaddasallah Sir, he submitted to his Shaykh. He served his Shaykh. He did not sit to pray with his Shaykh. He did not sit to make zikr with his Shaykh. He did not sit to eat with his Shaykh. For 40 years, his whole job for 40 years of his life was Fajr time to go up to the mountains to collect wood and Maghrib time to come back. For 40 years. Not for 4 days. Not for 4 years. 40 years. Coming back, eating in the kitchen, going to sleep. No sohbat, no zikr. But he has so much love for his Shaykh. Now that time the Shaykh sends zikr and sohbat through the heart. So physically, you can be here physically. Your heart is not here, you're no good for nothing. You're very far away and you are longing, you are burning. That time Shaykh Effendi sends and keeps sending. Yunus Emre, in the mountains, he starts singing, making, poetry and naats and mawlids and poems, praising Allah, praising the Prophet ﷺ, praising his Shaykh. And one day, he said to his Shaykh, "Oh my Shaykh, it is necessary, with your permission, that I go out from the dargah to see the world a little bit." So many things happened. His Shaykh later gave him his own daughter. But as it is everywhere, there is always jealousy and fitna. So one time, Yunus Emre, he said he wants to step out a little bit. And the Shaykh then gave him the permission. And he was traveling. And he met two dervishes. Dervishes, they lose their identity when they enter. Dervishes don't talk too much. They don't eat too much. They don't sleep too much. Which one of us is fitting into this description? There is one Shaykh that is going to the Hajj, and he asked another Shaykh through the heart, "Send me one of your murids to be my assistant to go to the Hajj." That other Shaykh sent him. They went to the Hajj. That time walking, traveling, going to the Hajj, months. They went to the Hajj, they went to the Kaaba, they performed all their necessary duties, and they're coming back. Not one single word was spoken between that Shaykh and that dervish. Now, that dervish has to pick up through the heart everything that is necessary. Isn't this the way of the heart? Isn't it? One question that Shaykh asked him, "What is your name?" And that one says, "My name is Ahmad, the son of Ali." The Shaykh nodded his head, went back home, went to his dargah. The murid kissed his hand, went back to his Shaykh. Now that Shaykh then sent a message to him, "How do you find my murid?" And that Shaykh that went to the Hajj says, "He's very good, that one, except that he talks too much." talking about the subtleties of faith, the subtleties of adab. I asked him what his name was, and he gave me his father's name too. So where are we in all of this? When Yunus Emre met those dervishes, they didn't ask for each other's names. They traveled together through the heart. Nighttime fell. They don't know each other's names. They don't know who each other are. But Yunus Emre, in the dergah of his Sheikh, for 40 years he's doing that, and because of his tremendous love for Allah and His Prophet, that he became very well known in the angelic circles among the angels. And the angels then send down all this information to those ones who are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the world knows who Yunus Emre is. Now, Yunus Emre was traveling with his two dervishes. Nighttime entered. They pray Maghrib. The first dervish says, now we need to eat something. We need to ask. So that one opened his hand. He asked for food. The food appeared. This is real. It happens. They were eating the food. They pray, saying Fatiha. The food got lifted again. Second day they traveled. The second dervish, after Maghrib prayers, did the same. And food appeared. In those days, in the days of when they are real sheikhs and real murids, real believers, nobody ever asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. That is a very bad manner. They ask Allah for the sake of someone who is close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So on the third day, they said to him, oh, dervish, now is your turn. We have prayed Maghrib. Now we need to eat something. Yunus Emre, he didn't know what to do. He says these two ones, they must have asked someone that is so powerful for the sake of that one, that food appeared. Ya Rabbi, I don't know who it is that they asked, but for the sake of that one, I'm asking. Suddenly the food appears and it comes down. You know Surah Al-Ma'idah, when Isa alayhi salam, he asked and the food appeared. There are Isas of this nation too. There are saints that hold that maqam of Hazrat Isa. They are not Hazrat Isa, but they hold that maqam. Food appeared, and the two dervishes who were working karamats, and it's very common at that time. It's not unusual, it's very common. They were shocked. They ate, they finished, and those two dervishes turned to him and said, you must tell us, what is the name of this Waliullah, of this awliyaullah that you're using, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves it so much that He gave you something that we've never seen before. Yunus Emre couldn't answer him because he didn't know who he is, what that name is. So he said, before I speak, you tell me whose name you used. And he said, whose name? Don't you know? It's so well known everywhere. People are using that name, and Allah loves that one so much that He is, for the sake of that name, He gives. And Yunus Emre says, what name is this? I never heard, because he stayed in his Sheikh's dargah for years. He says, the name of Yunus Emre. The dervishes were using the name of Yunus Emre, and Yunus Emre, without knowing it, was using his own name. But he did not even know himself. He is the one who wrote, who sang, isn't it? Poems that the angels, they are still using that. The fish in the sea, they're still singing his poems in praise of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. That time, things are open. He knows. Things are not hidden anymore. It is not ilmul ad-din. It is ilm. He wrote in one of his poems, because of his such love for Allah and His Prophet, according to the eyes of common people, this is wrong. when all those poems, they were compiled, other people writing it for him. There was one Imam, hundreds of years later. He's a Wahhabi kind of Imam. Mullah Qasim, that is his name. He heard people loving this Yunus Emre. He says, who is this Yunus Emre? He's not even a scholar. He doesn't know Arabic. And people love him. And they're reading his poems. And some of his poems have the smell of shirk and bid'ah. He's saying, what is this? So in his masjid, he had a full compilation of all his poems. He says, I'm going to fix this once and for all so that there's no bid'at and no shirk ever touching to my community and to the ummah. He took the big book, it's the only copy that is available. He sat by the river, reading first page. This is shirk. He tears it, crumples it, throw it into the sea. Turns the next page, he's reading another poem by Prophet. Shirk here. Loving Prophet too much, praising him too much. He tear it, crumple it, throw it into the river. He kept going on and on until he almost finished the book. He came across then on one poem, when the book was almost finished, he came across one poem and it says, oh, you who are judging me now, Mullah Qasim, who is going to judge you then on the day of judgment? Did you ever think about that? He got shocked. He dropped the book. He took, but all the rest of the book, it's already thrown into the river. The river said, no. Now Yunus Emre's poems, they are ours. The sea says it is mine. The fishes say it is mine. Humans don't want to carry it. We will carry it. We will sing his ilahis. And they are still singing it right now. Yunus Emre, Qaddasallahu sir. That Shaykh Effendi talks about him so much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise his station and support us, inshallah, in the work that we have to do. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha.